Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we have another If She Says This, Run video. Basically, these are just red flags that women say, things women say that are a little bit on the toxic side. If you've seen any of these videos that I've done or you've been around for a while on my channel, you know the drill. I keep a note in my phone, and anytime I'm online or I'm out in public and I hear or see a red flag, I write it down in this little note on my phone, so I have a very long list to go through, and we're going to be covering 5 of them today. If you are not already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to be in the loop for when I release new content. Over 70% of you guys that watch are not subscribed, which blows my mind. So if you want to be in the loop for my content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video while you're at it. Number 1 is I have options. Yes, there are women who actually say this. She has options and you shouldn't want to be one of them. And I think this is one of those things that's kind of the equivalent of when people proclaim that they are something, right? So if a man says, you know, I'm such an alpha male, or I'm so high value, or a woman says, I'm an independent boss babe that doesn't need no man. If you have to say you are something or shout it or proclaim it, if you have to tell people that you have options, there's something going on. You shouldn't have to say that you have options if you actually do. And the fact that someone would feel the need to say this or tell you this just screams insecurity to me. This will simply speak for itself, and announcing it is just a cry for attention. And obviously this is a red flag for everything I've already mentioned, but also because girls will often say this to try to make you jealous or act a certain way or do something for her because all these other men would do it for her, so why aren't you? I just think if you're at a point where someone is telling you, I have options, the situation that you're in is probably toxic and not very healthy, so it's best to just remove yourself. Number 2 is how much money do you make? And I want to note here that I think if she's specifically asking you how much money do you make, instead of other questions about your career or what you do for a living or what you're passionate about, that's when it's kind of a red flag, especially in the very beginning stages of talking to someone or getting to know someone. So say you're on a first date and she asks you on the first date how much money you make. That's making me feel a little uneasy. And it's very normal to be curious. I think, you know, if she's maybe in your industry or she's looking for a job and maybe you're talking about your career, it can kind of get naturally brought up. I know that there are a lot of people who are very open about their salary and transparent about this. I've been seeing this a lot more online lately as well, but I think you can tell when it's coming from a place of genuine curiosity or, you know, discussing careers and passions and things like that versus I only will date you if you're making X amount of money or I'm a gold digger type of vibe. So again, the intention here is not always necessarily malicious, but I do think asking this on a first date is just rather distasteful. And that one leads me into my next one here, and this is something that I've covered recently in a reaction video that I did, and that is I don't accept coffee dates. And I think saying coffee date could be interchangeable with a lot of other things that are maybe a little bit more casual or affordable. If she doesn't accept a walk as a date, if she doesn't accept a picnic, if she doesn't accept walking through a museum that might be free, or something that's, you know, affordable and maybe doesn't cost you a lot of money, but it's just your time, I think that is a red flag. So if you haven't seen the reaction video that I did, basically I reacted to a girl who was saying that she doesn't accept coffee dates because it means that the man is seeing other women and that he's a dusty loser. Her exact words. And that she deserves to be taken somewhere nicer because she's a beautiful woman and la-di-da-di-da. That's basically the gist of it in short form. And really all I could think when I was reacting to this video is, wow, if I am putting myself in a man's shoes right now and I see a woman talking like this online or she says it to me in person, that is a huge red flag. Having standards and preferences is one thing, but I think people have just started to act so entitled and unappreciative and ungrateful, and I do not love the princess mentality, entitled behavior. I've mentioned this many times on my channel. I just don't think it's healthy, and it's not a good sign in a woman. If we are judging someone so harshly on where they took us for the first date or how much it costs, you don't deserve to be there in the first place. And honestly, one of the most valuable things that you can give to another person, and I'm realizing this the older I get, is your time. So if someone doesn't appreciate that, see you later. Number 4 is all my exes are crazy. Do a lot of us have an ex that maybe is a little bit on the crazy side or who was a little bit toxic or manipulative? Of course, but all of them? That shows me that you have bad taste in men, first of all. Second of all, you were the common denominator in all of those relationships, so something's not adding up here. Someone who claims that all of their exes are crazy or they go on and on and on about their ex is just a red flag to me, point blank, because it shows me that they're either not over what happened fully, they're still healing from it, which would be a little bit of a red flag for me going into a relationship, that this person is not over their ex yet. It also tells me that they're a master at playing the victim, or at least they think they are. I don't ever condone a victim mentality. I don't think it's healthy or productive. I think a big part of growing and evolving and being able to find yourself in a happy, healthy relationship is taking accountability and responsibility for the fact that you were a common denominator in those relationships and you played a role too. Have I dated people in the past who maybe didn't treat me so great, or they cheated, or they were toxic and manipulative or crazy? Yes, but I was also a part of those relationships, and I was not perfect either. And I think, again, growing and evolving is being able to look at yourself in those relationships and see where you maybe weren't the best either. And it's very normal for your past relationships to get brought up when you're first talking to someone or getting to know someone, because our past does often say a lot about where we're at now. So that's not necessarily the problem here, because I think that's a normal thing to get brought up, but more so how they talk about it and how much they talk about it. If it's never their fault and they're never taking accountability and playing the victim, as I mentioned, abort mission. And my last one today is I'm the prize. And I think this one kind of goes hand in hand with the I have options girl in regards to why it's a red flag. It's kind of the same thing. Again, if you have to say this, you might not be the prize. This one to me just comes off as extreme insecurity masked as confidence. If you really are the prize, you shouldn't have to announce it. It should just speak for itself. It's giving entitled princess mentality, which you all already know is a no-go from me. And you know what's really funny is I see a lot of people talk about this online. I see it a lot in my comment section, actually, of people saying, men, don't forget that you are the prize, or women, you are the prize, or whoever is the prize. And the reality is that if you are looking at the relationship you're in or the people you're talking to as you being the ultimate prize to win or the prized possession, I think that there's a bit of an issue there. A healthy relationship is built upon mutual respect and mutual trust and having core values and life goals and morals that align with each other. And I think if you think that you're so much better, or you're the prize to be won, it kind of comes off very egotistical, and that you think you're better than people. And there's a difference here from saying things like I'm the prize, or I have options, or I'm better than you, versus just having confidence in yourself. I think they're very different. Cockiness is loud and confidence is silent, and that's really the big difference here. Some of these seem like they're very extreme, like you wouldn't think that people actually say them, but it's kind of crazy how much I see these and hear these, whether it be out in public or just online. In this world that we live in, I think a lot of people are chronically online, and they just feed into buzzwords and labels and these, conversations where we're just regurgitating information over and over, and saying phrases like I have options or I'm the prize and things like that. So I think it feels a lot more common than maybe it really is in real life when you see these kind of things online. But if you are talking to a girl and she has content on her social media, or she's commenting on videos all the time where women are acting like this, I think that in itself is a little bit of a red flag. So I actually have an example for you guys for this I'm the prize one that doesn't necessarily come out and say I'm the prize, but it alludes to the fact that she thinks she's the prize. So I reacted to this video where a female dating coach was talking about how, have you ever thought about why guys don't choose you and they go for these basic average wonder bread women? Meanwhile, you are a divine French croissant, and basically alluding to the fact that this high maintenance French croissant woman is so above a wonder bread woman, or a woman who is basic and average, as she called it. And the issue here for me was the fact that instead of just taking accountability for why something isn't working out for you, you have to put other people down to feel better about yourself. And I think that's kind of the vibe I get also with this I'm the prize thing. It's like just alluding to the fact that you think you're so much better than people, or you're entitled to something, or you deserve something because you are the bee's knees, right? And again, this is very different than genuine confidence in yourself, and I think it's extreme insecurity masked as confidence. All right, guys, that is all I have for things women say that are red flags. If you hear these, run for the hills. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. As always, would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. What are some things women say to you that are red flags? What are some things women do that are red flags? Share your stories and experiences. Also, on a positive note, would love to hear some positives and green flags, because you guys always know I like to try to keep a healthy balance going here so that we're not just doing the negative stuff all the time. I think it's important to know the red flags, but I don't want to get caught up into this very bitter or hateful type of view, because again, I don't think that's helpful for anyone. And of course, there are bad apples out there, but not every woman is saying these things or, being a walking red flag. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.